All right. So, last time on Ace Brigade, Pickles set out to meet with Ebbis Blackthorn. He asked her for a spell that he thought would help his party during the preparations for the upcoming play. Through an awkward interaction with Ebbis, she provided them with a spell as well as seemed to participate in some kind of exchange with Pickles' familiar, Bastard the Badger. Reconnecting with everyone, the play began. The party watched as Eden Moore, in disguise, made her way to the booth and settled in. Things seemed to go smoothly until the splinter cell of the river rats were spotted in the rafters. The group cut the chandelier free and brought the play to a sudden stop. Panic ensued, and while the lawkeepers were distracted helping people evacuate, Raven and Fleetfoot made their move to try and assassinate Eden. They failed miserably, though, as Eden stabbed Fleetfoot and went for Raven as well, but was surrounded by the Ace Brigade. Summoning a strange spectral anchor to her hand, the battle commenced. Just as the party thought they had the pirate beat, though, she showed off why she was called the Tempest. Transforming her body into water, she tore into the party and formed herself into a draconic-like facsimile. However, this did not stop the party from being victorious. There it goes. There's this beat of silence as Eden hits the floor, sputtering up blood and seawater. She now looks like her human form again as she collapses onto the ground. You all hear a distant but steady clapping. You look up to the source, and in a far box you can see a stout and smirking dwarvish tiefling. He's clapping rhythmically. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? You bested the Tempest. Now that certainly was unexpected. He hops up onto the railing and grabs the silk curtain that was adorning the theater, and he slides down to the main theater level towards you. You can now see his square features, his little short horns, slicked back hair, gruff stubble on his face, and pointed ears. He's wearing a coat with a blue tunic and striped pants. His devil tail flicks back and forth. He extends a clawed hand with a wide, toothy grin. Delgar Coppergrip, pleasure to meet you, leader of the Red Hands.
Is Eden's body here?
Yeah, it's back to normal. Ignore the giant splat. She is in fact there, unconscious. Let me put her back on the map in her human form. 1 sec.
Yeah, I don't think we straight up murked her.
Yeah, we didn't kill her.
I think specifically you said, yeah, you definitely tried. But I think whoever landed I think whoever landed the last blow did non-lethal. Where is she? There she is. And then.
But yeah, Scragg's gonna hog tie her.
Mark her as not invisible. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to mark her as unconscious.
She vanished.
Vanished.
Yeah.
He spawned.
There. Haha.
So, am I
unconscious? Sorry, what?
Yes, Scragg's gonna hog tie her. I just wanted to. I don't think my voice is coming in through.
No.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I definitely heard you. We're just doing several things at once.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you, I think. I suppose. What are the red hands?
Yeah, DM, have we heard of the Red Hands in canon?
I honestly don't recall. I don't think Levi told you. I think he only mentioned Simon's Edge.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to verify. It's one of those things like Shelbs knows. Does Nash know? I don't think it's come up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
I have a note that it's the Thieves Guild of Horizons Gate.
Yep. It certainly is. I just don't remember if that
Oh.
came up in the context of the campaign.
It's kind of a
I don't
very
think so.
counterproductive name. You know, they get caught red-handed a bunch.
No, we've definitely had this conversation before.
Yeah, I think Dan actually made that joke before.
That just snapped me right back.
Same
Yep.
pun. We definitely spoke about this before.
Yeah, I just don't remember if it was
You like that?
above board or not. I think it was in the DMs.
Anyways,
Yeah.
But yeah, you go for it.
Oh no, I just Pickles just said, yeah, pleasure to meet you, I think.
And
What a-
he like kind of takes your hand and shakes it and goes, I just wanted to share my thanks. And he looks over towards Eden's unconscious body and smirks. She was getting cocky.
you're being very sus right now.
What do you
Oh,
yeah,
so
what do you mean by that?
After her hostile takeover from her predecessor, she's been nothing but a thorn in my side. Trying to push into my territory for months. I had heard her mutinous crew was turning on her tonight, so I had hoped for a show. And boy, did you lot deliver.
Nash
Pickles
will
is-
just kind of. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Pickles just will say that he's looking very uncomfortable when he's looking to Nash.
Yeah, Nash kind of stumbles over with all 5 of his hit points, and kind of looks this guy over and said, "So you're in a similar line of business, it seems."
Adjacent.
So, I gotta be honest, sir. I'll be straight up with you. I don't know how I feel about you thanking us for this.
Why are you laughing like that? That's very unsettling.
No need to be rude. But I just wanted to come over and again, thank you, and 2, give you a little bit of a warning. Taking out Eden is for the betterment of the area, but you will create a bit of a power vacuum. I suspect this won't be the last of the river rats squabbling, especially with this Raven and Fleetfoot, was it? He is examining his clawed hands at this point, kind of nonchalantly. They didn't exactly put up a strong presence in this fight. In fact, they didn't beat Eden. You did. That means they will not have a great claim to the leadership role.
Oh, so it's like you defeat the River Rats leader and you become the River Rats leader. Is that how it goes?
That's how it's been previously. That's how Eden got the job.
Well, my first order as leader of the River Rats is to disband the River Rats.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I guess we're the leaders of the river rats. I don't want that.
As I said, I don't think you all taking out Eden will count in their eyes. They're scoundrels.
Well,
They won't exactly let do-gooders take that role. So as I
Correct.
said,
Yeah,
criminal
expect
record.
there to be a bit of a scuffle in town. Just
We are part
keep
of
an
the
eye out.
Do-Gooders Guild, to be fair.
But yes, just a friendly warning. And another friendly warning is that don't cross my path. I will not go down nearly as easy as her.
To be fair, she crossed ours, so I suppose same warning goes to you.
And, like, he leans in and kind of smirks, and then suddenly you see that he's holding your Wayfinder Nash as he, like, flicks it open, flicks it closed. And then he hands it back to you. And just goes, I'll keep that in mind. And he turns and kind of waves one hand in his pocket as he exits out.
Well, I vote we never speak to that person again.
Nash just kind of shrugs. It's like, it's a clever parlor trick, but gestures at Eden Morris. No turning into a giant water elemental.
This is true.
Very good.
And it's at this point that Johannes comes back in, and she just looks a little haggard, sees Eden on the ground, and goes, all right. She kind of looks over at you and gives a little frown, but kind of shakes her head and goes, good job. And she motions for other lawkeepers to come in and scoop up Eden and take her to jail.
Do not worry, audience. It was a part of the show.
I think the audience is pretty much out at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody here.
There's nobody here.
The, like, maybe one person cowering under a table.
It's the one kid from The Incredibles who keeps watching him destroy his own car.
Yeah.
Kid!
No, yeah, I think the chandelier kind of cleared the crowd out a little bit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Vaz, you want to go check on your bow?
Vaz will just sort of nod. You can tell she was really not paying much attention to what had just happened. And she's just gonna scuttle off towards the stage.
Yeah, and you find, like, at this point, the stage has been cleared, and you keep going out, and you, like, find yourselves outside. And Hermes and Carolina are outside, and Hermes just is, like, he's fretting, while Carolina's, like, kind of on her feet, looking, trying to see if she can see what's going on. And as, like, you cross their path, they like, lock eyes, and Hermes just runs towards you, Vaz.
Yeah, and Vaz is full tilt at him and leaps into his arms.
Yeah, that you do, like, that little spin where he holds onto you and, like, flips around, and the whole time he's going, oh, my moon, my stars, my love, my life. Oh, thank old dear you're
I'm
safe.
so glad you got out okay.
Thank old dear you're safe. Thank Lexitus you put an end to the chaos, and thank Thantex she did not seek to claim any embers today. Oh, and he, like, buries his head into your shoulder.
Yeah, and Vaz is just kissing the side of his head, just.
Carolina, like, lets out a big sigh and goes, you and your friends aren't injured, are they?
While still being in Hermes' arms, she's just gonna reach out a hand to Carolina and just, no, we're all fine, and you're okay as well.
Yes. It was far enough away that we only got the shock wave. And you kind of take a look. She does actually have, like, a scratch on her cheek and that she doesn't seem to have noticed, that's bleeding slightly. Probably from a rogue piece of the chandelier.
Oh, darling, you're bleeding.
Oh, hush, darling. It's fine. And she, like, touches her face, goes, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and Vaz is just going to bask in the comfort that two of the most important people in her life are A-okay.
Yeah. And she's like, at this point, takes like a handkerchief out of her wild elven looking dress and just pats her cheek and goes, Hermes, I think perhaps you should spend the night with Vaz. I'm sure that things will be a little chaotic here and you deserve a rest. And he looks at her like kind of cranes his neck a bit and says, oh, Carolina, you deserve a rest too. After all, this has been quite the experience. He goes, I'll be fine. We need to get this all cleaned up. Don't worry, darling. I'll keep an eye on the troop.
If you do want to stop by, there are hot springs at the inn I'm staying at.
Now that does sound lovely. Hermes lets out a sigh and goes, yes, perhaps that would be something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I imagine Vaz is still being held up. Like, this is just a thing they do.
Yeah, he's just got, like, hoisted, basically.
Yep. Because she's itty-bitty.
She's tiny. But,
yeah, and Vaz is just gonna hang on to Hermes and continue to chatter with Carolina and Hermes about, them being okay and what happened in there and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. It's getting pretty late now, and the chaos seems to subside. The lawkeepers have now cordoned off the area, and basically tell the troop that they can't start tidying up yet anyways, so you all head out for the night. Carolina and Hermes following you back to the inn.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured maybe we all like go and just kind of chill at the inn together, if that's okay.
No, yeah, 100%. We need a tall drink after that one.
Yeah. And sure enough.
Oh
yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say Nash was gonna say that he wanted to detour by the Horizons Guild himself for a moment.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
let
yeah.
me add time onto the clock because it is now later. It's about 10 o'clock now. Evening show started at 6 and then chaos happened.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you wander into the Horizons Gate and or the Horizons Guild, Horizon Walkers Guild. Sorry, I named everything the same. But yeah, you wander into Horizon Walkers Guild and it's pretty quiet in here. Just the flickering of the fireplace, and you see Levi is at the boards putting up different notices up. He looks over and sees you, and a wide smile crosses his face. So how was the show?
Oh, well, the first half was quite lovely, actually. Very engaging. Very disappointing. We haven't seen how it ended yet, but I suppose once they make the repairs, they'll, the show must go on.
He tilts his head. Well, dang. What happened?
Oh, it's the same old with us. We just confronted Eden Moore, the Tempest, as she calls herself. Learned why. Very apt. Wasn't a very big deal, though.
I heard that she was called the Tempest. Never met the woman myself. Only heard rumors about her.
Oh, you're not missing much. Not very pleasant, either as a human or giant water elemental.
Water elemental. That's interesting. I had heard that she took over from the River Rats about 3 years ago. And their previous leader was a man named Old Salty Rockham. I knew that he dealt in drugs and contraband, but the old sea dog never dealt in lives like Eden did. She saw nothing but gold.
Yes, well, we'd had a bit of a run-in with a prolific client of hers, and a few of those lives she was trading in, and it didn't quite sit well with us either, or with a large portion of the River Rats, it seemed. There was a coup in progress. We just simply intervened, as we do.
Yeah, well, hopefully that won't cause too much of a ruckus, but I suspect the river rats will continue to be a bit of a thorn in your side. In everyone's side.
I'm sure, but, well, as you well know now, we're not very good at keeping our nose in our own business in the first place, so...
That you aren't, but ever since you got here, there's been some changes, it seems, in this town. Nobody ever thought that they could stand against any of the rich fucks over in the upper ward, and yet you took down Olympia. Nobody thought that the Tempest was touchable. You took her down.
I've never been good at being told what I can and cannot do, so...
Gotta say, I'm mighty impressed.
He just shrugs a little bit, almost looks a little embarrassed. And then he'll just kind of change the subject back to, I do hope we can get tickets to another night, though, and that they do continue.
Ah, yeah.
See how the end of the show went.
I'd love to hear the whole plot. I know it's a retelling of that one story. Something about a moon princess. Ancient history, all that.
Yes, there have been many versions of the story throughout times, each with their own interesting twist. He's gonna kind of look around the room for a minute, notice his own shadow on the wall, which does the strange thing of, like, it sees him looking at it, and you could see that, like, instead of just reflecting that as a normal shadow, it very much is this picture of, like, he looks at his shadow, and his shadow notices and looks back at him. A little uncanny for a moment, and then his eyes kind of light up like he's suddenly had an idea, and he says, well, let's see what I can do about at least filling you in with the part that I saw. He kind of examines his shadow for a little bit, says, it's been quite some time since I've done this, and my sister was always better at it than I was. My shadow's always been unruly, even for a fetchling, but... well, let's give it a shot. And he is going to try to kind of recount what happened in that first act of the play that they got to see, while kind of shadow puppeting it a little bit with his shadow, to kind of mimic what he saw on stage the best he can.
Very cool. Levi is, like, very interested and watches it with rapt attention. Alright, is there anything else anybody wanted to do for the rest of the evening here?
Creek and Scrag are just having a couple drinks, just
Oh
talking
hell yeah,
about
we getting crunked.
just completely random stuff. You think you hear is, yeah, I like his art, but then he burned all those villages, and I just can't
Yeah.
look at the same way anymore.
Yeah, it's just once they act on some weird stuff, it's hard to go back on their work and think, nah, it's that same person that made it. I totally understand. No,
It's
yeah,
not that the work is like any worse, but it really messes with my enjoyment, you know?
Are
yeah,
you
exactly.
drinking
You
at
just
the
can't look back on it.
Are you drinking on the Calvo Path pub?
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, 100%.
Okay. So as you're having this rapt conversation, you notice the Hurricane Hawks wander in, and Juliet gets like sat down by Gulu, and Gulu starts like patching her up, and you notice that she's got like these burn marks on her face. And she looks pissed.
A rough night for you too as well, I see.
She looks at you and goes, "Water methods. Blasted water methods attacked that goblin alchemist. Don't worry, she's safe. But those monsters have acid breath. You'd think water, they'd shoot water. No, acid. Took a good few layers off my
Spicy
skin.
water.
Hurts like a sumbitch."
Spicy water.
And then she like suddenly looks very pleased with herself and says, "It's gonna leave a gnarly scar." And Gulu just kind of looks concerned for a second and goes, I can fix that. With Brahman's divine light. And she looks at him, or looks at her and goes, "I want a gnarly scar." Gulu just lets out this big sigh.
Yeah,
I
Creek
mean,
does
at
a
least you
hearty
came.
laugh.
At least you came by it honestly. Would you guys care for a drink?
Oh, hell yeah. Juliet takes a big mug and starts sipping. Ryu
I don't
sits
know how
down.
much like a.
Yeah. It was just a...
Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
It's just cost-wise. I don't know how much like a pitcher of like enough wine for a group of people would cost.
Yeah.
Like 2 silver or what?
Yeah, around there. That's
Cool.
for the good stuff. But yeah, you pass
Hell
around the
yeah.
drinks, and
Celebrating.
Ryu sits down next to you and says, "Yeah, we took a look around. Nobody attacked Gabriel. Hikari or that, what was his name? Hudson? Yeah. All of them were good. None of us got up to the, university, though. But, you know, it's well looked after. I don't think, anybody will come after anybody there."
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It seemed like they mostly cornered the theater, so...
Oh, yeah. Something happened?
Oh, a little something. We also have had a kind of a rough night, but we worked through it. You know the river rats, eating more, all that good stuff.
He looks a little confused for a second and go, river, well, I think I've heard of the river rats,
And if you haven't, you're welcome.
I'm still pretty, new in town. The rest of us, we formed up about 6 months ago as a team.
Oh. A coincidence, I am also new in town.
Same.
Yeah, I'm,
Oh yeah,
go for it.
oh yeah, thank you. Sarah, I'm gay. I'm new in town.
I don't get that reference.
Unfortunately, that is where my brain went to. So, after I said it, and I'm trying.
Anyway, but actually, it's 100% true. Anyway, okay, Creek could just kind of takes a quick swig of the wine, goes, "Yep, well, she's in the hands of the law, so we are all good. Don't have to worry about the river rats anymore, though. We did make a power vacuum by accident. Whoops.
I'm sure it'll be fine. He kind of shrugs.
It's a little too complicated for me, but I hope it goes well. But I hope we didn't accidentally ruin the political climate and all that good stuff. I don't know. I'm just a fighter. That's all I know what to do. Once it gets into more complicated stuff, my brain hurts.
I feel ya. That's part of why I left town. Back home, there's some tensions. Half the country wants to leave, become independent. And the other half is buried deep underground and doesn't see that there's a problem. So I thought I'd seek fortunes elsewhere. And where better than Horizon's Gate?
Well, that is a very valid reason.
Mm-hmm.
And Creek just continues to chug her wine a little bit.
Yeah. I think a lot of you talk well into the night. Anybody else have anything they want to do before the evening concludes?
Do I have the wherewithal, the spell learning materials? I could attempt to add illusory object to my spell book before the end of the day.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let me, so that's an Arcana, I think. I should have this freaking written down, but, hold on. Pathfinder, learn a spell. Learn a spell. I have to expend, because it's the first level, it's 2 gold pieces worth of stuff. So subtract that, we'll see. Arcana. Roll. Natural 20.
Yeah, you get it. You get that.
I expend half the materials.
Nice.
So it's I only deduct one gold piece worth of learning materials. And I've learned the spell.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I'll add that to my freaking spell book. Illusory object. Yeah, that was pretty slick. And I guess as part of this, I'll also I'll just sort of explain, what the whole process of us going of what we were doing, and then the plan. Oh, I have the dagger still, don't I?
Yeah.
Look at that. So I did not give that over to the lucky person.
Yeah.
That's for Pickles. Can I attempt to identify this maybe? Don't know what the rules are for identifying a magic object.
Roll an Arcana check.
Okay, gotcha. I do have a hero point. I'm not sweating it too much. I probably will not use it for this if I don't get a proficiency. Arcana check. Yeah. That's 23.
Okay. So yeah, you take a good look at this dagger. It's got the sharp point and got the waves on it and a rune on it. As you stare into it, you see that this is a dagger of returning.
Ooh.
So when you throw it, it can come back to you.
A boomerang fish.
It is a boomerang fish.
I might, if everybody's cool, because I'm proficient with very few weapons, I might go ahead and ask if I can go ahead and keep this one.
Hmm.
If everybody's cool
I
with me,
I already
Actually-
have a spear for turning, so I.
would that actually be better for Vaz? For range stuff? Because Vaz, you don't have too many range options, do you?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, yeah. Do we want to? That actually might be better because I have range stuff. I have cantrips and things, but
Yeah. So I don't have like an item card for it. I will make one up in between this session and next session, and I will put it on Vaz's sheet. And I'm making a note of that now.
Appreciate.
As a dagger of returning. Give to Vaz. Does that require freaking attunement or
Yes.
investing?
Yeah, but
Okay.
as a reminder for Pathfinder, you have 10 slots. So I'm sure that there's lots. It's like you can't invest 2 different kinds of gloves at once, but you know, you can have a couple of weapons.
Okay, yeah, so dagger for Vaz.
But what if I
Done.
put on one glove from each set?
You know,
Yes,
it-
exactly. What
it
if you have
doesn't work.
multiple
What if I
pairs of
did
gloves?
this?
You see, like Roy Mustang, you need that current or else it doesn't work.
Ah, I
Dang
see.
it. Alas. But put
No,
gloves on my
it's all
feet.
about magic is all about intention. So the gloves know that you're trying to cheat the system, and they get mad at you, and they chop
it.
your hands off.
It's kind of
Oh.
like when you're in a genie hypothetical and you're like, I want more wishes, and it's like, shut up. This
If-
is
if
that's
you-
not.
If you only wear one of the gloves, you only get half of the effect, and in TTRPGs we round down. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So you get a plus
True.
0.5 to your sleight of hand, but that rounds down to a 0.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. Can't wear gloves on my feet. I can't have any fun.
Not unless you're like a flesh warp.
Yeah.
That would be so funny if the flesh warp like
I have extra
you
hands. I
can't
can
wear
my
any
gloves.
you can't wear any boots, but you can have 2 pairs of gloves.
awful, awful.
Now hold on.
I'm
let me
laughing
look.
because spoilers for next campaign if that ever happens. I'm laughing because my idea for my flesh warp for the next one does have 4 arms.
Oh.
Wonderful. I love him. Or them.
Excellent.
Or her.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this roll of illusory object because I used it up. Get the spell out of it. Alright, I definitely will. Pickles will also. He will take stock of quickly. How's everybody doing on potions and any of the other stuff I gave you? Just so I know what I might want to craft in the upcoming days, because I know that I used like because I have some items that I want to like examine in order to learn how to make. But I wanted to see where everybody was at on that stuff, so that next downtime I have, I can see if I can craft some more potions.
Potion master. Creek requires a potion of healing if you're able.
That's got 2. Creek's got none. Nash and
potion.
Scrag.
Nash
I
is not
actually
there
still
to
have 2.
Nash is not there to tell him this, but he does only have one,
Okay.
and he's probably about to use it.
Okay. Yeah. So we're a little light, but not critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
Okay.
wanted to study something else, by all means, go for it.
Screg is pretty banged up right now.
That's why we're getting Crunch Scrag.
1d4 healing alcohol.
Yeah.
Also, I know that this is probably gonna be more downtime. It would also, because I think you said last time that it wouldn't consume the scroll. I do want to take time to study this level 2 spell scrolls so I can learn how to make them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
think that would be a downtime thing, so.
Yeah.
Which-
Oh, and the wand as well. The wand would be good too, but I can worry about that later.
Yeah. I suspect next session will be a downtime session, so.
Hell yeah.
Keep that
Yeah,
in mind.
Pickles.
Make a note of it.
I will make a note. Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty much all I had.
Anything else before people tuck in for the evening?
If nobody else has anything, Nash is going to make another detour before he actually goes back to the inn.
Okay. And before
Did he tell us that he'd be out for a while?
Yeah, probably.
He said he said he was going to be out for a while at the guild. He didn't mention going anywhere else.
Okay. So we will just assume everything's fine. Tragically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we go there, I'm going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes. See you back. But we are back. So, Nash, you make your way up to the Horizons Gate Academy. It's pretty late. The lanterns are lit. And it's pretty quiet, but you manage to get through the teacher's area towards Carta Vasca's door.
He gives it a jovial little knock, like a shave and a haircut.
It's silent for about a beat until you hear a "Come in."
He will let himself in and help himself to a seat if there's one available.
Yep. And she is, like, hovering over her desk, tinkering with her machine. Good evening. What do I owe the pleasure?
Good evening. I'm sure news would have made it to you eventually, but I just thought I'd let you know that Edenmore had in fact been dealt with. It seems there's a bit of a power vacuum, you know, if you're in the market for a second shadow organization.
She pauses and looks at you, raising an eyebrow. I have no idea what you could be insinuating by that.
Of course not. My mistake.
And at this point, she, like, looks you up and down. Why are you here?
He sits there for a moment, just had been kind of like watching what she was doing with the machine, maybe fiddling with like some of the pins on her desk or something, and he'll pull out one of the daggers that he held on to, that is in the shape of the symbol of Mendacium. And he'll just kind of sigh like, well, seeing as how you have at least some form of contact with Silence's Edge, and he'll kind of give it a little wink. It's just been bothering me. Why this symbol in particular?
She looks at it. She seems to be examining your face and lets out a sigh. I see that this little charade has run its course. Very well. If you wish to discard the pretense, then so shall I. And she turned sharply towards you. I don't have a say in what that symbol is. I've never had a say in the symbol. That is why it is used.
Quite a few things you still don't have a say in, it seems. And he's going to kind of study your face for a moment, and a fellow runaway from House Skolvemia, you say?
A partial truth. I thought I would spare you the grisly details. I was certainly a servant in your family's home, sold to your parents so that my family could continue to feed themselves. But I was no mere chambermaid. And at this point, she, unbuckles her high collar. And you see that there are scars leading down her neck around a tattoo of Mendacium symbol on her neck. She unbuttons the top of her shirt as well, and you see that these scars go deeper down onto her chest, and her whole chest looks like scar tissue. Not just simply scars, but large chunks had been torn out of her, haphazardly healed in jagged clumps. She stops and tilts her head and goes, "Your family tortured me, tearing parts of me away, day in, day out, all to please her, for me to become their tool, their knife to slit the throats of their enemies, to spread the dark reaches of her whims. This is all I know how to do. Kill and spread their influence." At the end of the day, Silence Edge is yet another one of your family's many arms.
I'm sorry, I just got real distracted by chat and something popping up. I had my eyes closed all in the moment, and I just opened them up and saw, "We gotta bounce."
Sorry. Oh my god.
Okay, back in it.
This is why I
Back
don't
in it.
even look at the chat during these sessions.
The pop-ups, I need to turn them off. Okay, I'm in it. I'm back in. He looks over all of the scars as she talks, and she could see something truly, truly sad cross over his eyes as he did, but he's gonna kind of take a deep breath and look at her and say, "So, even outside of their realm, you continue. Because you say you have no choice."
She points again to the tattoo on her neck. This is how they control you. They mock you. And if you misbehave, they take control of you.
You're a guild, not just a lone assassin.
Anyone with this
Do the
mark.
others... Did they know what they were signing up for?
Of course not. Though anybody who joins the Assassin's Guild, none of them are good people. I never claimed I was either. We're all bad people, detective. I may give you this sob story, but I have killed. And I will kill again. Not just for your family, though a great many of them have been for your family.
He kind of rolls his eyes a little bit impatiently at that one and says, "It's not about being a good person, bad person. Everyone makes their own choices, but you've still made one for them, it seems."
It is the will of her. And no matter how far I think I can run, there she is, creeping in the shadows. This is why, though, I tell you you should go hide. Run far away, for if they find out that I have been in contact with their little heir, they will not let me let you go. You have freedom where I do not. I cannot. And I would like for you to keep it. But if they force my hand, I will not be able to contain myself.
Freedom, you say?
They've been searching for you ever since you and your sister vanished all those years ago. And they sent people like me to find you. They had hoped to use your fiendish blood to track you down. But the results have been futile for some reason.
Kind of pauses at that and looks at her for a moment. And then turns his attention to the machine on her desk. Is that what all that was really for?
Yes. At the end of it, track you, track shifts in the realms, as well as a way to get back to the Shadow Plane and receive my orders.
he's going to start fiddling with the machine, bits here and there. Kind of lost in thought for the moment.
We can't track your sister. But she does not have the fiendish blood. It should be an easy task. It is interesting. Quite the conundrum, indeed.
We are gonna sense motive on that. Particularly the bit about his sister. Okay, so what is that? Is that a perception?
Yep.
How do we... Okay. Oh, I forget it's over here. It's not on the thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's in its own section.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 24. She seems like she's trying to hint something to you. But that she clearly doesn't want to be involved in this, but has no choice.
Does he get the sense, though, that she was being serious about his sister, like they can't track her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And definitely serious that they should be able to track you. But they can't.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Sorry, you cut out for just a second. Definitely what?
Yeah, definitely that they should be able to track you. But they can't.
Is there a part of the machine that, like, he would be able to kind of, like, not break off or, like, fully detach or anything, that just, like, kind of would come off if he tried to pull at it? Like, then that could be put back right where it was? Okay, then as he's fiddling, he's going to take one of those pieces off and just kind of, like, roll it around in his hand, watching to see how the shadowing affects it.
Yeah, it kind of, like, dances on the edge of it, and that piece kind of, like, brightens up with, like, this dark blue flame, almost. Kind of pings, but then shuffles back. Shadowing just doesn't seem to stick quite right, and you think back to that puzzle box you got at the beginning of this adventure that also would not become shadowed when you clicked or, like, fiddled with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make the connection that that puzzle box and parts of this machine are made out of the same material.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been illuminating, one could say.
It certainly has. I warn you, this will be the last time you see Professor Kartavaska. If we meet again, I fear I will be rend, and only rend. You understand?
Of course. He's going to very carefully put the piece he took back on the machine, right where it belongs. And then after the very briefest of pauses, he's going to shove the whole thing off of her desk into the floor.
Yeah. And it hits the floor with a smash. Bang! And pieces, like, go everywhere like you throw a Lego set on the ground. And for what it's worth, Carta just stands there simply and watches it. Her expression doesn't really seem to change. She places her hands behind her back. Good thing you have the directions. She smiles slightly.
Yes, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually. And he just kind of like looks back up at her and gives a nod. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening, Detective.
And he will leave.
Yep. And as you exit out of the Horizons Gate Academy, the night grows ever colder. Anything else before we tuck in for the night?
Anyone need heals? I need heals.
I think we're probably gonna do a long rest after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
I don't know
late
if
at
it'll
night.
heal all of my things, though, is the thing.
Yeah, it will heal
Oh, that's a good
part of
point.
it. Yeah. Anybody who is like way below, you should probably do some healing.
I'm trained in medicine, so I will attempt a medicine check on myself. I think I can do that. It's been enough time.
Leanne, could I...
Hmm?
This might be jumping the gun a little bit, but given we're about to level up,
Yeah.
and I don't think we have much, could I perhaps, because you know what I'm gonna do for my next level, could I perhaps access that early for this moment for Screg? Would that be okay?
Eyes emoji.
You'll have
If
to
not, that's
refresh
totally
my
okay.
memory. You'll have to refresh my memory what you plan on doing.
Taking heal for my Oracle spellcasting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it legit? Is that okay? If not, that's totally fine.
I think if we're going to do that, it's got to be a scene.
It's got to be.
It's got to be a scene.
100%.
You can't just go, oh, I heal now. You
We
gotta
roleplay it.
You gotta roleplay this.
Okay.
All right,
That's
let's
what we do.
character.
Screg, so Screg
Character.
is going to bandage himself up, and Pickles is kind of looking over his notes and stuff.
Yeah, and you see Scrag was beat up pretty fucking bad by the water elemental. Like, he's covered in these, like, weird bruises that look very strange because he's blue. And he's kind of grimacing every time he puts, like, a bandage on.
So Pickles is actually across the table from him, and like he sees Screg kind of like he sees Screg kind of like a wincing a little bit as he's putting the bandages on, and he turns the page and he's writing with his pen, and I like to imagine he sees on the page, whenever he sort of turns to a new page, there's an element of like where he kind of has to focus and blink a couple times, because as he starts writing, the letters start sort of swirling around in his vision. The ink dances off of his quill onto the page, but doesn't really obey him because he wants to. He wants to just be writing, and it forms symbols and things that he doesn't recognize, but eventually he gets it to obey. And he's done this a number of times. But as he turns the new page, ink forms not into sort of unintelligible cyclical symbols, but into the form of a pattern of scales, that where there's sort of like a gash in them. And as he kind of concentrates and sort of wills what he's writing to, fix itself, he kind of almost tries to brush aside this gash and these scales. And because he's within 30 feet of Scrag, he is, as he brushes that aside, it kind of, this energy, this ink as he brushes out the page kind of swirls up into the air and kind of drifts forward towards Scrag's arm and kind of wraps around it and heals Scrag 4, because I'm doing the two action cast of it. And it's only a first level heal, but it will be for 1d plus 8. 12 hit points.
Yeah, this like burst of energy just kind of and like glows over Scrag with like this golden light, and you see like some of the bruises start to fade. And Pickles, you feel like this ghosting of like a hand on your shoulder, but as you like turn to look, there's nothing there.
Scrag breathes in deeply and just, thank you, Magic Man.
What?
Did you heal? You healed me.
Did I?
Yes. Like the druids on my island. You healed me.
Pickles kind of looks at the page where he just brushed aside this, this scribbling he was doing, and then looks up to Scrag and looks up at his arm and... I didn't know I could do that.
As Scrag is walking by, he pats Pickles on the back, and then he tucks a feather of his to kind of mark, like, into the book to mark the page. It was like a bookmark.
Oh, I like that. Pickles will look at Bastard. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
And then he just keeps walking. He's gonna go up to his room, and Gertie's coming with him.
Pickles will look at Bastard.
Bastard will look back. And then he looks like behind you, then looks at you, and tilts his head.
Pickles will also look behind him.
You don't see anything there.
If I open up my arcane sense, do I sense anything there?
You feel this like warm energy. But nothing identifiable. I think it feels like something is tethering you to whatever that force is that you feel behind you. You feel like this tightness in your chest, but it's kind of relaxing, weirdly enough.
This is different than us, Bastard, I think.
Bastard, like, gives a little curt nod and, like, ruffles himself and then looks away and curls up into a ball.
Pickles will, he will, kind of... Sorry, I gotta fix my stuff. He will just kind of, he'll close his book, and he'll look to Bastard, and he'll say, I think we might have a, I don't think I want to do it right away, but I think we might have a church to visit in the future.
You can see, like, his one little paw go up and then come back down again, as if acknowledging you, but he's not looking at you right now. He's kind of... seems done.
You are a mystery.
Yeah.
You got a lot of mysteries.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and Pickles would just kind of be lost in thought. Apart from at one point saying to the group just kind of passively, very much in a don't worry about it way, like, hey, do you think that the other, the people that were in that fight with us might be mad at us?
I'm dying because Vaz is off with Hermes and Carolina. Nash is off doing nonsense. Scrag and Creek are there drunk as hell, and Pickles just looks at Creek. Do you think they mad at us?
Are they mad? Are they mad?
I think people might be mad at us.
Which is such a mood, honestly. Creek will just look at Pickles and go, ah, well, if they're mad, they're mad. We did what we did. It'll be fine, maybe, probably. But, you know what? Not our problem. And she drinks some more.
All right.
Wait, Drunk Creek is not that different from Sober Creek, huh?
Sure is.
Gremlin either way.
Grumbling. Grumbling.
Grambling. A little bit more grumbly when she's drinking. Sorry.
Well, Pickles will just kind of... He'll kind of stop writing in his book at pretty much at that point and just spend some time thinking. Thinking about stuff and staring at his hands and the magic swirling around them.
Very much math, magic.
Magic math.
Magic math floating around your hands. All right. So everybody gets settled in for the evening.
If no one else has, you know he's not done. You know he's
Of course he's not.
done.
Nah, she's not done.
Of course he's not
But
done.
if nobody else has anything for the evening, then yeah, he's gonna start making his way back. Very much intending to go back to the inn at this point, but he pauses as he passes by the Church of Thantix.
Yeah. You see the angular building in the middle of the graveyard, the multi-eyed raven above its door. You see, like, this kind of flickering light on the inside of it, kind of warmly welcoming people.
He's gonna go kind of peek inside and see if there are any people around.
Yeah, sure enough, even though it is pretty late at night, you see the two sisters of Thantix that you saw the last time you were here. Sister Cora, who is young, pale, with sunken-in eyes, and Sister Halima, who is dark-skinned and has a completely shaven head with, like, a design tattooed on her head. The two of them are cleaning the altars. And then you catch them, like, looking at each other and giving each other a smile and keep cleaning. They then notice that you come in and look a little embarrassed and, like, jump back and go, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Church of Thantix. May the Oh, I know you. Oh, yes, you're part of the group that came down and looked after the fest rocks. Thank you.
Oh, of course. No trouble at all. I know that. Well, Festrugs are not very pleasant to deal with in any circumstance, but particularly for a church of one such as Thantix.
Yeah. Ugh. They left an awful mess, but we got it cleaned.
Ah, good. Sorry we couldn't be more help in that regard.
It's all right. It's our job to clean the graves. Nobody else wants to do this kind of work. Yeah, but I think it's well worth doing. Nobody else will look after the dead, so it'd be awful, I think, to not have anybody look after you.
Of course. There hasn't been any other trouble since then, has there?
No, thank goodness. Yeah, it's kept things neat. They kept things tight. We've done a better job of examining the bodies that come in. No sign of the infection going further. It's that Dr. Kia. She seems to have quelled the plague over in the lower ward.
Mm.
She's got this wild thing. I don't know if this will catch on, but she seems to think giving somebody part of a virus will keep it from mutate. I don't know. She's poking people with things. Seems to be working.
An interesting thought. Fighting fire with fire, one might say.
Yeah, seems that way. I don't get it. We usually just cast magic brought on by Thantix's divine light to keep things well. Yeah, the doctor doesn't like magic, though. Very, very interesting lady. What brings you here this evening? Sorry. Mother Vladimirsa is in bed right now. But we can do what we can help, probably. We can't do as high-level magic as her to cleanse any ailments. But if you need somebody to talk to.
I was actually hoping to have just another look around the basement, just to be thorough in what we were doing. I'm sure, obviously, you've done the cleanup and the work afterwards, and I'm sure it's gone well. But just to put my own eyes on it, to not feel like I've completely abandoned the job or anything like that.
Yeah, Cora gives a little nod, seems to understand, but Halima kind of tilts her head and goes, "You can just say you want to go pray to the statue down there. It's fine."
He will look a bit sheepishly at his feet and say, "Very well, then I am here to see the statue."
Oh, yes, of course. And the two of them lead you down to the stairway that you took to get to the catacombs. And they kind of nod and let you go off on your own to go down those steps. It has a much nicer atmosphere now that you're down here than it was the last time. It still has that weight of death, but doesn't have the weight of disease as well. It feels serene and peaceful. And you walk towards the large statue of Thantix that they have down here. Her veiled face holding embers in her hand. Her long dress that you see little skeletal hands sticking out from the bottom of.
There are those braziers we saw down here,
Yeah.
full of embers, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm kind of like making up religious practices as we go, but he's going to approach one of those and I imagine there's sort of tools around, like one might see around a fireplace for like stoking flames and things, and he's going to kind of take a small iron shovel there and scoop up a few of those embers and place them into the hands of the statue, and then kind of hold his hands out in that same like open receiving motion as in sort of a form of offering or prayer.
Yeah.
All the while he's kind of giving the statue this like very odd scrutinizing look, as though he were trying to read like someone's expression or sense their own motive. Like he had just done with Vasca.
Yeah. And you do this motion, and the flames in her hands like light up with that same kind of flame that you saw when you were trying to interact with Carta's machine. Kind of this bright blue spark. And you start to feel this like warm sensation on the edge of your fingertips.
He watches for a moment and then looks back up at the face of the statue and says, "I'm afraid I must apologize. It seems I have much misjudged you and your presumed inactivity in this conflict.
At that, the fire, like, does a big puff, warming the whole area, and you feel like this warmth all over your whole body. And you might catch, as you look around, that your shadow has, like, engulfed the whole room. Harold is, like, just almost like a protective bubble in the whole area. Dancing in this, like, flickering blue light.
I had assumed this whole time that your hands were tied, as it were, in this conflict among gods, but... I see now you very much have a say in things. All right. I'm listening.
And that warmth continues over your entire body and kind of forms like a ball in your hand as the embers become this like slightly blue glowing ball. And seemingly without words, you get this feeling of protection, not curse. No other, like, sensation comes, but that's what you feel. And then the ball, like, puffs and dissipates on your body. And you feel rejuvenated. And... you get 3 hit points back from this warmth.
Hey, I'll take it.
This healing light. And then the blue flame kind of flickers back down to a little flame and then puffs and becomes just embers in her hands. Slightly glowing, but not quite with that bright blue look anymore.
He will just look back up at the statue and give a nod and sort of finish up the ritual and putting things back where they belong.
All right.
And then he will finally make his way back to the inn.
All right. As everybody settles down for the evening. Creek, despite the alcohol that you drank, you don't sleep very well.
I didn't think so.
You find
Your circadian rhythm is all messed up. That's why you gotta practice moderation.
Anyways, you find your mind plagued by the strange half memories in your head. Flashes, screams, crying, and blood. But then, the vision settles into something a little more peaceful. You find yourself walking in a garden. Silver plants and flowers lined this path. You look up to see the diamond-lit sky. In front of you, a teenage elf in a long dress is laughing ahead of you. "Look at this one, Captain! Oh, and this one!" And she excitedly points to each new flower. "Can you believe they're already in full bloom? It's barely the 3rd cycle." She squats down, and her flowing princess dress drapes down in a cascade of fabric. Captain, why do you think Selenia... What do you think she sees in that man? He's so rectangular, and smells funny, and his hair is silly.
Actually, Creek does kind of laugh at that. It's kind of like a surprise, like, puffed, like I just did. and tries to like choke back the laughter, and just goes, "Well, that is certainly an opinion. I don't know these things well. It can get pretty complicated, but there is hopefully some love in there. At least that's what I hope."
If Mother finds out, she's gonna be in so much trouble. He's not even an elf. He's gonna die long before she even gets going. I don't understand it. Boys are icky. Especially non-elven boys. I don't. They're so dirty.
Well, we certainly don't know what people see in other people. But that's the beauty of it. It can happen to anyone at any time. And we gotta... Well, we are keeping a secret. We gotta respect that.
Yeah,
Respect.
I guess. Captain, you'll never leave me, right? Not for any boy, not for anything. Right?
I wouldn't leave you for anyone in the world, so no worries.
She has like this big, toothy grin on her face as she pulls you into a hug. And you feel a warmth in your chest. But then you violently feel that ripped away from you as the scene flashes in a blinding light. You now hold her in a great crystal chamber where people lie dead at your feet. Her expression now one of fear, tears streaming down her face. "Mama, no! Mama, no! Mama, no!" She cries over and over again as a bright flash hits you, and you hear her scream in your arms. Her face is burning, but so are you. Your whole body is alight with white, hot pain. And you shoot up awake. This dull ache all over your body. There's a name on your lips as you sit there in the moonlight. Callistial.
Yeah, at that pain, Creek lets out just like a blood-curdling scream, and then just suddenly whispers, "It was Callistia?"
Yeah, I'll type it in the chat or in the window here
Let's-
because it's a silly elven name.
Excellent. We love those.
Callistial.
And in a drunken stupor, because she very much drank a bunch to try and forget. And she falls out of her bed, trying to grasp for her notebook and trying to scribble it in the dark. Does she remember the name?
Yeah. You write that name,
Awesome.
and it hurts to see it. It hurts to read it, but it's there, and you remember it.
Will smile very sadly while tears are streaming down her face, and she half sobs, half laughs. Oh wait, is Nash in the room? I think we're booking together.
Oh, was it me in there? Oh,
Yeah, it sure was.
I don't know.
Somebody's in Creek's room.
She would, if she even clocks this at all, she might see that he is probably not been in that long, he was just getting himself settled when she hopped up screaming.
Mm-hmm.
But he will He will no, he will he doesn't even acknowledge that himself. He just kind of hurries over like, "Oh, my word, are you all right? Is everything fine? You're awake now."
Yeah, she kind of snaps back into reality and wipes the tears and goes, "Right, sorry, I forget myself. Hi. Everything's fine. Everything is a-okay. No problem."
Are you sure?
Just two thumbs
It was
up.
quite some dream.
Sorry, my mic fell over.
All good.
Yeah, it's less of a dream, more of a memory, maybe? I don't know.
Do they always
And
come back to you like this?
Yeah. They're not the most best memories.
Can he clock that name as she's writing it in her journal?
Yeah. If you can see
Yeah,
it.
I don't think
It.
Yeah, I don't think Creek is being secretive about it.
You immediately clock from the play you were watching that was the younger sister of the elven princess that fell in love with the imperial prince. The older princess was Selenia, and this younger princess was Castiel. Callistia. Yeah.
You're all good. It's a lot of syllables.
It's a lot
and
of
a lot of repeating consonants.
Yeah, my brain just auto-corrected to fucking supernatural, and I'm mad at myself.
It's Castiel. I'm just a big Castiel shipper.
No.
Mhm.
Callistial. Like Callisto.
Yeah. Well, perhaps something from today triggered such a memory. Did you... Is this the first you've had like this recently?
Recently, well, I've had a couple times. I would just remember snippets. It's been more visual lately than before. That's kind of why I have this notebook here. And she like motions towards the notebook in her hand. That's, as you notice, it's pretty ratty. It's really dirty, and there's a bunch of like notes scattered around in it and a lot of scribbles, but a lot of like doodles as well, of like different faces, different stories about different people. They all kind of like are like just different stories about a bunch of different people, but there is always like a theme of either related to like the moon, elf and princesses, and like her god as well, and just there's always like just random like themes like that throughout the notebook, but majority of it is just like of just different tall tales about different people, different groups of all kinds of races and ages and like genders. It's just like all types of people. And Creek will explain these are my companions. These are people I've traveled with. And a good chunk of them have met a mortal fate, which I'm not too familiar with, but it does follow me everywhere I go. But there's always this one person that keeps coming back to my memory, and never stays properly. I always tend to forget. And even if I write it down, later on I will forget. And it's not a good feeling to have someone you love and not even be able to remember them.
I can only imagine. He's gonna kind of, if allowed, flip through that journal a little bit, and I'm sure he sees a few more things that, like, he would recognize from either that play or, like, stories he's heard of the fall of the Elven Kingdom, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Creek will let you go through it while she's like trying not to cry.
Yeah,
he apologies.
Yeah, and I
not at all. It's clearly troubling you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you flip to one page, and there is actually like a sketch of a man. And Nash, you kind of squint, and you can see that just the shape of his eyes and the way that he smiles kind of reminds you of Pavo, but nothing else does. His jaw too square, his hair too like curly. And Creek, as you kind of get a look at that, the words rectangular and weird hair do cross your mind again.
Oh. Okay. Creek is gonna actually swipe the notebook from Nash, make a huge circle, and then write those rectangular, that same description.
Yeah, rectangular smells funny, and his hair is silly.
Hair is silly. Nash is like, what the fuck? What is this girl doing? The voices!
Oh no, he'll just kind of he'll watch, very intrigued by the whole thing. Well, I had hoped to, of course, finish out the play whenever, it was suitable for them to perform again, but I think perhaps in the morning, if we could ask Vaz, maybe with her help we could get our hands on a script and we could go through it a bit more at your own pace. It perhaps a bit less upsetting in that context. If this is jogging memories, we can see if we can drum up a few more if you're quite comfortable with that.
Yes. I know it will hurt, but I do want to remember. Thank.
Of course. For tonight, though, rest.
To be honest, I thought the wine would help, but it seemed like it did the opposite.
Yes, it's quite fickle like that sometimes.
I'll grab some water and go back to bed.
Should you need anything, though, don't hesitate to wake again.
Of course. Thank you. I don't mean to trouble you, but I very much appreciate you.
Not at all. I bring enough trouble of my own, so.
We're all a bunch of troublemakers, aren't we?
It does seem that way.
And Creek will smile. Drink some water and hydrate. Then go to bed.
All right. Meanwhile, over at the Seafoam Inn, Vaz, you are sound asleep. Now, Hermes stayed with you. Would you two share a bed, or that a bit too far? I'm not sure where your relationship's at as a lady.
I mean, I don't think they've done anything, but
Yeah.
they've definitely they'll share a bed, especially after today.
Yeah. So you are warm and cozy next to Hermes. And in your dream, you feel this sharp pin pricks all over your body as you hear a voice in your ear. You could have given me a soul tied to Krakel of the Deep, and you didn't kill her. Naughty, naughty little daughter. And you feel the sharp hurt in your chest.
Have you ever seen a cat have a nightmare?
Oh no.
Where they're really twitching really bad, like their face and like their hands and their paws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's how Vaz has nightmares.
Yes, I feel like as that's all happening, this wakes Hermes, and he like wraps his arms around you and tries to wake you up. But you feel this like sharp pull into the dream as this woman is whispering harsh curses at you. Can you roll me a will save?
Oh, yes, I can.
This gives for rolling dice. I forget sometimes.
Yeah, where is Will?
It should be on the left-hand side here. It should say Fortitude, Reflex, Will.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever rolled a will save.
Yeah, it's mostly used for, like, thought problems. So, yeah, 23. You find yourself, like, cutting away from this sharp noise and feel the warmth of Hermes. And you settle down, and the voice quiets. As you settle in for a comfortable night of sleep, Hermes holding you tight. Good job. Yeah. As the night rolls on, it becomes early morning, probably around 3 o'clock. When Pickles, you feel this heaviness on your chest, and it wakes you up. Your eyes flutter open, and you see Bastard is standing on your chest, staring directly at you with intense-looking eyes.
What? It's... What?
And
it's
that
early.
He looks over towards the door, and you see a single purple butterfly floating by the door. It's glowing eerily in the dark. He hops off of you and heads towards the door and looks at this butterfly.
Oh, man. You're not gonna let me go back to sleep, are you?
And he, like,
Didn't think
motions towards the butterfly again.
Alright, he'll grab his he'll grab his clock, his spellbook, and his staff and head out after Bastard.
And he stomps down the hallway with purpose. And you find that as you're following him, he is moving towards the lower ward. It's so dark and dead quiet. Only the sound of your feet on the cobblestones. And you realize quickly that he's leading you to Ibis's house.
Now, halt, Bastard.
He stops and looks at you and keeps walking.
Alright, but you and I are gonna have a talk after this.
He starts walking faster, kind of flopping. And sure enough, he leads you to the old gnarled tree in the middle of the ward. And you're immediately hit by something. The door is open, and you can see inside. She never leaves the door open.
I haven't prepared new spells yet, so...
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Pickles will, say, he'll motion for Bastard to get up on his shoulder, and, we'll head inside.
Yeah. As you enter, you find that you are walking through a wide path that is covered in paintings. All seem to be moving slightly, and you find at the end of this the door that opens up into Ebis's office. And you see her kind of half collapsed against a desk. There is like part of an ice wall in the room that's half melted, and the carpet is scorched. And you see a few butterflies kind of floating in the air. She pushes up against the desk to kind of straighten herself out, and you notice that the desk is covered in like these many teeth marks. Apologies for interrupting your evening, but I have some information to share with you. And she like stumbles slightly.
I'd like to quickly detect magic, open my arcane sense.
Oh yeah, magic has happened here. There is like scars of magic in this area that indicate there was a battle.
Mm-hmm. Can I also, looking at that ice wall, would I be able to? I'd like to use Well, no, actually, that's on someone casting a spell. Never mind.
Yeah, I will say that you can piece together its wall of ice.
No, yeah, I figured. I just wondered if I would be able to get a vibe on like how powerful.
You know that's a.
Can I maybe Arcana to see if I can? I'd like to get a sense of whether or not Ebis drove someone off, or if it was like they just like. How badly did Ebis get fucked up by whatever happened here?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, taking a look at her makeup is smeared and there's blood on her hands, but she doesn't seem to have too many other injuries. She just looks tired.
Okay.
And looking at her...
Is the place tossed? Is there like
tossed.
Stuff everywhere? Okay. Alright, well with that, Pickles is gonna stop like kind of assessing the scene and just like go up to her. Alright, what's up? What happened?
A group of 3 managed to get through my defenses. Nobody should be able to get through my defenses without my permission. But somebody has found a way. A portal opened up and 3 robed figures came in. Despite everything, they did manage to hold their own against me. 2 of their faces were obscured with masks. However, one I could tell was an expert with a knife, and one was a formidable mage. The last one, no need for a mask, for I identified them as a were-shark. One look at them and I could tell they were from Silence Edge, but curiously, they did not seem to be here to kill me. They grabbed a jar from my desk and they ran off.
You remember what was in the jar?
That is why I called you here. I'm afraid that jar contained the good detective's hair. As to why they wished for this particular item, I cannot say. I simply thought it would be best to alert you and the dear detective.
Pickles will be silent for a bit. And then he will look at her, and there's a mixture of fear and anger on his face. And he says, "So, my friend's in danger now."
I have no idea. It's just hair. I kept it to analyze if there's any difference between hair belonging to someone from the material plane versus the shadow plane. Otherwise, I would assume it was useless. Especially to a band of assassins.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that, Ebis. You really think in the vast expanse of magical ability that people have, you can't think of any use someone might have for someone else's hair?
Tracking spells, I guess, but the dear detective, they won't be able to find him with that. Not with the veil on him.
The veil? Talk to me about that.
Could you not see it? There is a protection around him. I can see through it thanks to my eyes, but to you, shouldn't it just look like he's in shadow?
Seems like there's an awful lot I'm not able to see lately.
I had just assumed you had all known that that was protection. Interesting, but no, I don't know if your man is in danger, but I figured I'd give you the warning anyways. Someone is looking for your man.
Yeah, we already knew that. I want to know how you managed to let them get away with something like that that came from someone else like that. You just had it out on your desk?
It was in my desk, and as I said, people can't get in here without my permission. This has never happened before.
Okay. He kind of rubs his temples. Where is Vaz's blood?
It's been used.
Okay.
It was a spell component. I no longer have it.
Did you see any sort of magical markings on them, any implements they had, anything that would indicate how they managed to get in here?
A portal opened. They did not seem to be the one that opened it. That is about all I know.
Okay. If you have anything you can give me that might help me protect my friend from this, now would be the time to share it.
I have various spells and the like. I'm not sure what exactly you're asking for.
I'm just trying to figure a way to fix this mess now, because what do you know about him that you're not telling me? You can't be ignorant to all of this. You know so much about us already.
I only know what my eyes show me. I know he is a fetchling and a tiefling. I know that he has a veil of protection on him. I know that his socks don't match. They are lovely, though. As I could see that the young woman with you is a changeling, I can see that he has protection. That is, as I could see that you are an Aphrodite. Beyond that, my knowledge of the outside world is limited. I have no idea why Silence Edge would be after him.
Well. At least one of us, it looks like one of us is going to have to start learning about the world around us.
Yes,
I appreciate you letting me know nonetheless.
I do need to know how they got in and how to stop it. Because if they can get in, so can... And she starts, like, ignoring you suddenly as she starts flipping through books and is, like, immediately, like, disengaged as she's gone into full research mode to try and figure out how the hell somebody got into her house.
Okay, we're done here. And Pickles will just leave.
And as you exit...
And...
Yeah.
I was going to say, we can say this for next time if we want to, but, like, from there, he will head straight to the Church of Lexodus.
Yeah. I think that'll be our final, like, scene as you head towards it and the camera pans up to that church. And that is where
hopefully she'll have some answers, bastard.
Yeah. On that line, that is where we'll end it for today.